talking about? What do you mean? It's probably, is it gonna be AI stuff? Minus $5,000? This has to stop?
Art competitions are getting worse, and apparently anyone could stand a shot at winning without potentially making any valid art, but by stealing multiple spots from actual hard-working artists and forcing them out of the competition. Yay! Art competition.
So it's AI. So it's basically AI stuff. Our eyes up.
An organized group of
I'll be honest with you. I don't join any like artist competitions, to be honest. It's just too much pressure, to be honest, to make a good art piece in order for you to be number one, you know. I don't do it. I like taking my time and having fun making art. That's it, you know. That's basically all I do. I just have fun drawing.
that present artists with ambitious tasks
I used to sell in the past, but not anymore though, so
competing between each other for either petty cash or a sweet cushioned seat in the spotlight of fame on the social media pages of the well-meaning organizers of the competition. While some so-called art competitions do well to elevate the winners to greater heights in their art journey, or at least set them up for a little slice of the pie, which in this case happens to be the unstable art industry, some other competitions pay little to no regard for the actual artists laboring away at their drawing desks, trying to make a drawing worthy of them being noticed. For those of you who are not up to date with the rather fast-paced art community drama, well, grab a seat because you might want to sit down for this one. It's going to ruffle your feathers a bit. Pokemon TCG, which stands for Trading Card Game, announced their annual art competition where they invited Pokemon fans and artists alike to create fan art of their favorite Pokemon characters to celebrate the 27th anniversary of the Pokemon brand, with the theme for this year's contest being Magical Pokemon Moments, which surely sounds exciting for both fans of the franchise who happen to be artists and every other artist regardless of their skill level. These contests let us see wonderful illustrations brought to life and new talents brought to light. This year's contest has Magical Pokemon Moments as its theme, and we are accepting submissions from Japan, United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. We can't wait to see what incredible and exciting artwork you will come up with. The competition offered pretty decent prizes for everyone who decided to compete in the tournament, and according to the award section of the official website, the grand prize winner takes home a whopping $5,000 and stands a chance of having their work featured as official promo art for one of their cards. The second place position
$5,000, chat. God damn, that's a lot of money. Wow.
receives a cash value of $3,000 and also grants awards to both the Best Standard Card Illustration winner and X Card Illustration winner, while having both of their images featured as promotional material for one of their cards. And for third place, 6 runners-up each get to receive $1,000 for participating in the competition.
No, that's not bad. That's not bad. $3,000 for third place.
And 15 artists get to be chosen for the Judges Award, where they each received $500 for participating in the competition.
Okay. All right. Well, participation rewards, basically, so.
Sounds like a pretty amazing prize pool if you ask me. You receive some money for drawing one of your favorite Pokemon, and you get the sweet chance to brag to your friends that your art is being used on a Pokemon card. A potential win-win situation if you ask me. With everything looking...
What would I draw? I think I would draw Gardevoir because that's my favorite. It's like Gardevoir and Garchomp are like my two favorite. They're my two favorite Pokemons.
All blissful on the horizon, what could ever possibly go wrong? 2 weeks ago, Pokemon announced they had selected their top 300 entries and were closing down on finalizing the winners of the competition. And what do you know? One particular artist's name happened to show up 6 times on 6 different pieces, all submitted in the same competition. And to make matters worse, the artist, which we'll get to in a second, submitted images that all had a similar feeling to them and looked rather questionable. Oh dear God, I hope it's not what everyone's thinking. I will confidently say that there's AI artwork in these finalists. Vegan K has multiple submissions under different names but the same initials, and he has taken away spots from real artists who deserve to be on here. Shame on the Pokemon judges for not realizing this. It looks like several Gen AI art submissions, likely from a single person, got through to the final round. Really ought to be disqualified. So why are you letting people violate the max entry rule so blatantly and with entries that are very likely AI generated? Shocking. Vegan Cachadorian, who we'll refer to as Vegan K or VK moving forward in this video, submitted 6 or more paintings to the pool of art in the competition, and his images somehow managed to stand out curiously to everyone who saw them for very obvious reasons.
Dude, you can tell automatically. Like, go back. Look, look at Vaporeon. Look at Vaporeon on the far left over here. You guys see? Look, what's wrong with that Vaporeon? Damn, dude, that face is fucked up. That face is fucked up real badly on that left side as well. Also, where's that paw going to anyways? Where's that paw going at, huh? That paw is kind of like disappearing or so. Like it's kind of like decapitated from Eevee's body or so.
To stand out curiously to everyone who saw them for very obvious reasons. The paintings they submitted seemed rather polished and well finished compared to the other paintings and drawings that had been submitted by other artists, with lighting and color that could only be achieved by very skilled veteran artists or generative AI that had been trained off very skilled artists. And in one of the images, one of the characters looked rather simple and didn't have the same level of detail and quote-unquote care the other parts of the image had. An artist submitting to the same competition with different art styles in the same image is an interesting concept if you ask me. Of course, this is not to say that artists are not to draw in 1 or 2 different art styles, but jumping from a fully detailed Bob Ross painting to a drawing that looks pretty much simple and out of place makes your painting look rather questionable. Another artist pointed out that the image might have potentially been traced since the Pokemon in the back casually lined up word for word, bar for bar with another drawing from a different artist altogether. Talk about stealing from multiple sources.
Ooh, that one's up in the big yikertons. That's a big oofy right there. That one right there specifically, that's not good. That one's not good right there.
Gotta catch them all, right? Artists immediately started taking note of the paintings and the irregularities going on within them, calling out the artists for blatantly using AI to try and win the art contest. The Pikachu Stadium piece is the most telling one. The background and the audience have an unusual blurry abstraction. AI images are not smart enough to generate clear or detailed backgrounds. Humans can wrap our brains around what backgrounds are supposed to be and can make clearer environments. As with most AI art, the background is the giveaway. The lights in the stadium are all different sizes, with weird angles and no real coherence to their organization. The paneling above the lights is composed of multiple jagged shapes with no pattern or relationship between each one. The people in the stadium are faceless and shapeless blobs. The screens in the upper level above the people also have jagged shapes and formless figures on them. It's hard to prove all of these in one reply, but to start, this Pikachu is probably the most obvious. One key way to spot AI art is inconsistency, and none of these stadium lights or crowd members have any consistency to them. I'm not super talented, but even I can make box lights straight. Kat Liente, a fellow colleague at the office of YouTube Yapping, also made a really good video talking about the situation, and in her video she went through each of the images, scrutinizing every tiny pixel in detail and pointed out all the obvious telltale signs that the images Vegan K submitted were definitely made using AI.
Okay, I'm just gonna point out a few aspects of this person's art as to why it makes it AI. Or the first one is Eevee's tail just melting into the clouds. This is a mistake that AI tends to make because when AI elements overlap, AI gets confused and will bleed one thing into another. Like when AI was probably trying to draw the sky and then was also trying to add the Eevee tail and it blended the two together like this. The second one is the random lines on Eevee's face. I'm guessing AI was trying to show that Eevee's underwater by adding like the water reflections. You know how water kind of has like a little like blobby shape to it and it will reflect from the sunlight onto the face? And then there's just like instead just streaks, like a bunch of spaghetti on Eevee's face. This Eevee piece, like I said before, AI has a tendency when things overlap with other elements to bleed the two together because AI cannot distinguish the two. An example or two examples is the cherry blossoms touching the ears, right? When the cherry blossom flows across Eevee, it flows across the ears. There's no line work now for this cherry blossom. It just bleeds into the line work of the ear. Same with this cherry blossom, right? It looks like Eevee's ear has a big pimple on it. Except I'm sure this is supposed to be a cherry blossom leaf. But an artist with this level of skill, an artist who is capable of drawing in a fisheye perspective, which is a very difficult perspective to draw in, would probably not draw the cherry blossom leaf like this. They would either shift it upwards so it doesn't intersect with the ear, or remove it entirely so it doesn't intersect with the ear, or fully line it so that like you can separate the cherry blossom leaf from the ear. And then we have their Pikachu artwork, which is the biggest offender of bad reflections over here. It is almost like they're doing like a one-to-one flip of the reflection, but there should be some sort of distortion to it. And also, oddly though, they drew the reflection for Pikachu, and then they drew the reflection for one foot and one of his hips, but not the other foot. Over here, is this a rock? Is this a snail? And then the biggest one again, the same error that always happens in AI artwork is the hands. If we look at Pikachu's hands, this Pikachu has 3 fingers and a thumb. This Pikachu has the right hand is a little off, and then the hand just bleeds into the face. There's just a line here that I think AI was supposed to try to like make the arm continue upwards, but the arm starts down here, so it just gave up and failed. AI, again, has a tendency to use 1,000 random but very, very similar colors. Look at the cheeks of this Pikachu, how one cheek is coral, but one cheek is actually red. This is a very orangey color. But this is a very pinkish red. And then Pikachu's drool.
Also, you can tell she forgot to say like the shading. You can see the shading underneath the cheek on the right or so, right? You see the bottom part. You see the bottom part, and you see the one on the left itself. You know, there's like a weird little streak of line or so that they did or so across the cheek itself, and then the one on the right, it's kind of like some weird kind of like muted color that they try to use or so for shading. Also, that lighting or so on top of underneath Pikachu's eye as well is kind of weird.
Drooling for some reason. And yeah, the water on the ears are weird. Look at this one.
It's a really good video, and she goes on further to talk about how to differentiate between real art and AI art, leaving you well informed with all the information you need to differentiate between the two. So definitely go give her video a watch after this and subscribe to the channel telling her you came from here. I'll leave
Yeah, I've seen a lot of I've seen this video quite a lot. I've seen a lot of her videos come up a lot. So for me specifically, like I think my art is okay. I don't think it's super great or anything like that, right? I think it's all right. I'm still working on it, of course, you know, because I'm very picky when it comes to my art, because I'm trying to go for like a specific shading style that I want to try to do. It's just a pain in my ass. I'll probably like I'll probably like do some like outlines or so for characters, and then I could probably just practice coloring. I think coloring is my most like weakest one or so on computer, you know. Shaking my head, they use AI for contests now. It's because they didn't put the rules. They didn't put the rules as that you can't use AI art in the competition, you know. I don't think a company is going to put it unless they do care about young artists, because at the end of the day, right? The problem is like we're just moving into a day and age where, you know, where AI is just going to take over completely. So whether people like it or not, we're moving towards the age of technology. So I get it, you know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing when I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna do the same thing as well. Like I'm gonna put this as like I don't know if this would probably be the best reference, right? But I'm just gonna throw in this or so. It's basically remember when drawing with pencil and paper was a thing, right? Even in the olden times, right? In old Roman, old times, you had people did paintings of people standing still, you know, until the camera got invented and stuff like that. And then it made painting people obsolete. Instead, just take a picture, you know, so you're not standing there for like hours and hours, or sitting there for hours and hours for the artist to finish. And then from there, we changed over from when it came to artists specifically, right? Pencil and paper was a thing that was like the most common thing, right? I grew up with pencil and paper. That's what I grew up with, and that's where I honed my skills, with pencil and paper first, before I ever even touched like digital art, right? I still suck at digital art personally, right? Compared to compared to pencil and paper, because when I draw in pencil and paper, it's 10 times more better. I'm like, I draw on fucking professional levels with pencil and paper, but for some apparent reason, I can't seem to like, it's just like sometimes I can be really good with it, but then for some other apparent reason, I have no idea, and I kind of fuck up on certain things sometimes, and then it just takes me longer to finish to finish an art piece sometimes. Sometimes not. Sometimes I do. It kind of really depends, like what I want to do with it. You know, if it's usually like a new character or something like that. Oh man, dude, don't expect me to finish it anytime soon. That's why when I was drawing Baiji or so, you know, I was kind of like a little bit indecisive of what I want to do with the character specifically. And I even rechanged the face too on stream and all this other shenanigans too. Um, and that's pretty much frankly about it. But I know the fundamentals and everything like that when it comes to art. And then back to the thing, right? Because I grew up in pencil and paper, right? And then there was a big hate towards like tablets, right? Like tablet drawings and like using digital art and stuff like that, because they say, "Oh, it's so easy. It's so easy. You don't even have to try or so." You know, I remember back then or so, like a lot of people who were like pencil and paper hated people who drew like digital art. You know, now it's kind of like repeating itself again, but this time it's AI art and normal art. You know. And it's weird because like back then or so, we now everything has calmed down or so, that now like pencil and paper artists can coexist with digital artists. You know, they can coexist in the same space. You know, I think definitely later on in the future, it's definitely going to be a thing where they are going to coexist in like in the same area. You know, you got your like normal artist, right? And then you have your AI art. You know, it's just going to coexist later down in the future. You know. Because it's like a weird repeating factor, you know. It's the same with painting people to pictures, pencil and paper to digital art. Now it's digital artist to AI art, because the pencil and paper artists don't really care too much about it, because it's not affecting them, because it's pencil and paper. So you can't really, you know, I don't think you can really get an exact one-to-one copy or so with that, at least with pencil and paper. So yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting to see like the domino effect, like the to see like it from painting to pictures, and then from pencil to paper to digital art with tablets, and then now it's digital tablet artist against AI. You know, I'm very curious to see what AI art is going to go up against in the future. So once like the technology just keeps advancing, you know, I'd be curious to see what will be happening later in the future. So for me personally, the tool for AI was made for artists, but the problem is like a lot of these other people took that technology and decided to, you know, make a profit out of it, and then feed it with like our AI art. Well, not AI art, but art or so of other artists without their permission. You know, like that's one of the biggest things or so. You know, I think if the technology wasn't widely available to people, right, and it was like kind of like more controlled or so, it'd probably be a little bit more different. You know, but like I said, these are all like speculations at the end of the day, right? It's a good hypothesis to think about, like what would happen, you know. So I understand a lot of people don't like my takes on AI art, you know. Like for me personally, I just don't care, you know. I just generally don't care. I just enjoy drawing at the end of the day, right? You know, I use AI for character clothing designs, hair designs, poses if I want to. Or maybe if I want a background, I'll tell it to, hey, give me a fucking random background or something. I don't know. And then that's pretty much about it. That's basically is what I use at the end of the day. But I usually, you know, when it comes to like the characters themselves, you know, I make my character and then I wait for what kind of clothing designs I want to do. Because I sometimes spend hours and hours and hours looking through fashion magazines. And then I can just tell, you know, the machine, hey, can you make me like a sporty outfit or something like that, you know? And then it'll make me something like that. I don't do it exactly like 1-to-1 or so. Sometimes I'll change certain things off the designs, and then that's pretty much about it. But I don't know. That's just me. I know a lot of artists don't like that, but I don't make a profit out of my shit. I just draw. That's it. I just draw to make fun, have fun, and that's pretty much about it. So, also that's probably like, and also I learned a lot of things too from the AI machine, right? Of certain color mixings and stuff like that, and like using certain brushes that I've never even bothered of using or touching at all, cause like at the end of the day, right? I'm okay with digital art, right? Like I'm pretty okay. I'm above average. I'm definitely above average when it comes to digital art drawing or so. I don't think I'm super great. That's me personally, right? Because I'm my own critic, right? Someone else can tell me, "Wow, your art is so good." I'll be like, "No, what the fuck are you talking about? It's shit." It's like, no, it's fucking shit, man. But yeah, but that's pretty much about it, though. Like that's how I see it personally. But I think for me, I excel 10 times more better when it comes to pencil and paper, like 100%. But I don't have a camera to do pencil and paper and all that other stuff. So unfortunately, I can't do any of that shit for now. So, but maybe in the future, I'll be able to whip out my pencil and paper skills again. I don't know. It's been a long time. It's been kind of a long time since I've done pencil and paper. So I don't know how that's going to be, but I can give it a try though. I can give it a try, even though it's been like 20 years. Yeah, it's been like almost 20 years or so that I haven't picked up a pencil and paper for it. I was pretty good at it. I actually was excelled. I was like close to professional levels of art or so, but I don't know. That's pretty much it. So, and then I got into digital art, and then I completely sucked like doo doo at the beginning. Hey, Mr.
The
Cheezer.
link to our channel in the description. A lot of artists were outraged about this and were questioning why the organizers of the competition allowed people to submit art that was made using AI in an art competition that was clearly asking for hand-drawn illustrations. On the art submission guidelines, they clearly state that each participant is allowed to submit 3 pieces of art, which could either be 3 different Pokemon or
Pieces. You may submit up to 3 pieces of artwork. It doesn't say has to be hand drawn. Has to at least not from what I'm noticing. Anyways, I don't see you cannot add AI art into this. I don't see it anywhere here unless he's gonna show it right now.
the same one. So clearly Vegan K has broken one rule right off the bat. That's one strike already, buddy. This isn't looking too good, buddy. Although the rules don't specifically say contestants shouldn't use AI for their art, since they were not expecting people to be that down bad in all manner of creativity, but this bit here could possibly cover the use of other artwork and intellectual properties, since it says your art must not contain material that violates or infringes another's rights, including but not limited to material that violates privacy, publicity, or intellectual property rights, or that constitutes copyright infringement, which basically means you cannot use another person's intellectual property in your work as long as it violates copyright laws. So
Yeah, but if the AI machine was trained under Pokemon art that is free of use or so, right? It was learned, it's free, people can use it, right? For the Pokemon stuff. Then you can't really like I said, like the problem is like the AIs are like trained off thousands of images, right? And I get it, I understand, like it's trained on images that are stolen, but let's say hypothetically it was not, right? Let's just say hypothetically, right? We're just gonna put this as a term hypothetically, right? Let's say the AI that was trained on, right? They were okay, like the artists were okay for it to be trained on their work or so for Pokemon. So you can't really go against them, specifically against them for that one. So
submissions must not include third-party trademarks, logos, insignia, location signage, photographs, artwork, or sculptures, except those of the sponsors, which is Pokemon. Submissions must not include any reference to or performance of any copyrighted media production, including but not limited to books, articles, photographs, artwork, music, etc., or identifying descriptions of any media property. So this kind of technically covers the use of AI and
but it doesn't though. It technically does, but it really doesn't though.
other AI generative media, since well obviously it's pulling from multiple sources which are both artwork and other media, and therefore
Yeah, but it's the media from themselves, it's the media that they created, the Pokemon people created. So
for breaking the rules of the competition. 2 more strikes for our poor vegan K. Definitely breaking the rules there, my boy. This also brings up an interesting and
that one's a little bit vague. That one, I don't know if I'd consider it breaking the rules precisely. It's a little bit vague. Like it's just basically a moral kind of type of thing, and moral not verb type of thing. It just really kind of depends. It's just your own opinion at the end of the day. Like I said, if people don't like me because I fucking use AI to make fucking character poses and fucking costumes, like outfit designs and stuff like that, right, for my drawings, that's fine. I don't care at the end of the day. I just have fun drawing. That's it. I just enjoy drawing. That's all it is to it. I'm not here to make a profit. I'm not here to make things and all this other stuff. I'm just here to have fun. That's it. That's literally it for me. So
pretty important thing to consider moving forward for every arts competition coming up. Please.
And usually like every art that I make or so, at least specifically, like it's just something that I wanna do. I wanna do for my friends or so, so.
To specifying the rules if AI art is allowed or not. The latter will be very much more preferred, but if in the case that AI art is allowed, gosh, I hope it isn't. It shouldn't be in the same category with other actual artists. Instead, gather all the AI prompt bros, put them in one category, and let them battle it out with words and prompts and whatever else it is they use to make their images, and may the best writer win, since it clearly can't be considered as actually making art. It definitely isn't fair at all putting artists against people that are using AI to make art, since one is being judged for their creativity while the other is being judged based off of the creativity of other artists and not theirs.
It's a bit of a gray zone because, yeah, you can say that like, oh, they're not being creative of making the AI thing, but the problem is, it's like, right, like specifically, you're going through thousands and thousands and thousands of art, depending on your knowledge and your skill of like how the AI tech is, like how it runs or so, right? For me, I fucking know jack shit about the fucking tech itself. I don't really know much about it personally, right? So I can't I've seen people take about almost 6 months to almost a year for like one image to perfect one single image, because apparently you have to do something about with I heard about it or so, something about in paint or so, where you you paint a certain part of the body or so if something looks wrong or something like that, and then you have to go through multiple times or so for it to get it correct. It can vary of how many times it has to go through, and that's pretty much is what they mostly do. I think that's what they mostly do specifically for some of these, right? I don't use it personally. I personally don't use it. Using AI for drawing is okay, but for competition, as in bring money to see who would purchase his drawing, that as an AI is not good, because it can be downloaded from Google, and I don't get it. But a painting hand drawn is pure talent. Yeah, I don't really see it. I don't really see it being in the competition. But if they have a separate like category or so, then that's fine. It's not really a big deal. The problem is, right, is that the Pokemon people didn't put a rule or so that AI art shouldn't be allowed in the competition. So, if they didn't put it in the rules, right, then can you really blame them for adding AI art into the competition? No, because Pokemon themselves didn't really clarify it. That's the problem, Like, you can say it's morally wrong, right? You said, how dare you put AI art in all of these other beautiful, talented people, But then the problem is like, well, it's not in a rule book. What do you want me to do? It's like... It's kind of like Pokemon. It's Pokemon's fault for not putting it in the rule book. It'd be like, hey, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to put AI art in the competition, or or just have a separate category for AI art, and then that's pretty much about it. That's the problem. The problem is they didn't do that. They didn't put safety nets for actual talented artists. That's just the problem. I'm just pointing the finger mostly at Pokemon, for them not putting it in the rules or having a separate category. That's basically it, is what I'm pointing at. So
which is genuinely why situations like this arise. And now all the other artists who made amazing drawings and paintings are pushed out of the competition because this person took all the spots they could have filled.
Here was my entry for the Pokemon TCG art contest. Sadly, I did not make it to the top 300. Congrats to all that that make it legitimately without using of AI. It's all right. Like, it's pretty good, but the problem is like, you know, would I see this on a Pokemon card though? Like, I don't know. I've seen like more interesting Pokemon art, you know, artwork or so on a Pokemon card. You know, I've seen really good ones or so. So I can definitely see it being beaten out by someone else. I'm not counting AI. You know. Yeah, they did screw up. It's literally Pokemon's fault, you know. If Pokemon just would have put the rules or just made a separate category, then you would have been fine. They none of this would have been none of this would have been an issue. But the problem is they didn't do it, so they fucked up. So, and then artists are a little bit pissed off. It's justified. It's justified that they're mad, or so that, you know, hey, this machine is like, you know, beating me. For me, I rely like what, 10% on AI for coming up concept clothing or so for me, while the rest is like I just kind of like, you know, do myself. So that's pretty much about it. So I just want the pose,
their work.
Because we all know for a fact that fucking AI cannot make fucking good hands. If you guys want to see the abomination that I create or so with AI art, sure, I can definitely show you guys. I create abominations and I kind of like fix them or so. Well, not quote unquote fix them, but like try my best to like make it my own. But then like the problem is it's kind of hard because sometimes it kind of blends in together and it looks like kind of a bit of a sausage. Like they got tangled up in a fucking like sausage machine and then created some weird monstrosity at times.
Disappointed that a bunch of Gen AI submissions essentially stole spots from hardworking artists in the Pokemon TCG art contest.
You know, we'll take a look. We'll take a look at the art. We'll take a look at the art.
This is why artists have been vocal about this. Opportunities are actively being taken from actual artists. I spent hours and pushed myself out of my comfort zone for my entry. For this bullshit, I think it's hilarious the AI bros are trying to defend the integrity of the use of AI here too, as if the entrant's lack of integrity shines in submitting under 4 different names and violating several sections of the content.
Yeah, that's also another thing too as well. This person like submitted like you know, in different names or so, right? That's another thing that's kind of a little bit like, bruh, are you serious? Just fucking put in one. Just put in one, bro. That's it, man.
Test terms and conditions for entry. I hope they kick that person out. He took 6 spaces that belong to actual artists.
So I'm looking at the illustration contest.
AI generated images in the Pokemon illustration contest of 20. Yeah, we'll take a look at the Pokemon illustration contest
2024, round 1, top 300. Like, cause I submitted an artwork here, right? Very beautiful artwork from these artists. Congrats on y'all. But I have a problem with this dude. At first, if you look at it, just like quick glance, you might think, oh, very pretty. But see, this dude uses AI. The style is inconsistent, except this Vaporeon. I think he draw on his own, like he just added. You can see the Vaporeon here as well. But like, dude, how do you go from this to like this, and to this, and to this? Like, it does not make sense. You can see the face changing constantly. Like, dude, what is the point of this line here? Like, hello? It does not make sense. Like, what is this? What's scary about all this is that the directors of the Pokemon Company let all 4 of these artworks slide. Like, they did not know that this was, like, all AI generated. So, that's a huge problem towards the Pokemon Company, because it's just unfair for the artists who actually worked hard, who actually submitted
These people with natural drawings and paintings got robbed from their victory and prize. Remember, it's only the top 300. It's not the top. It's not the top. It's not the top 3. It's not the top 5. It's the top 300. Remember, it's not the top 5 arts in the world. It's only the top 300. They're not the only thing they got robbed or so is just a placement. That's all they got robbed for. Not really like an actual prize or victory or so.
Their artwork, and all this dude,
Hey Shadow, how you doing there, hun?
did was just submit his AI submission.
Yeah, it's just top 300. Yeah, it's a little bit like it's a little bit redundant. It's only top 300. It's not like, you know, it's not like top 5.
This dude submitted 4 of his AI generated.
The problem is that this person submitted multiple versions of it specifically under different names. That's the problem. That's one of the biggest problems is what I have specifically, right? If you're in a competition, right, and you're only allowed to submit one piece of artwork, then it should only be allowed one piece of artwork. That's the problem. Even if it's AI, it should only still be one, you know? But the problem is like this person literally submitted, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of AI art. And that's a big no-no. And I get it. I understand, you know? The problem is it's not in the rule book. It doesn't say you cannot use AI art in the competition. They didn't put that in the rule book. That's the problem, you know? Like I said, I'm not defending the guy, right, that made the AI art. The problem is like I'm pointing fingers at Pokemon themselves because they didn't put it in the rule book. So you can't really blame him because they didn't put it in the rule book. You got to be pointing fingers at Pokemon themselves, you know? Not Game Freak. Well, I don't know if Game Freak is behind this, but just Pokemon themselves, you know?
Like pieces, and all of these could have been different artists. All of this could have been different artists. Like, can you believe that? The audacity of this man in general. Okay, so here's how to help. Maybe help the artist whose spot got taken. Support.pokemon.com. You go to this website and type in your email, first name, last name, subject, description. Basically, you want to address the problem going.
Yeah, that's like a lottery scam. 99 little papers with your name and one of the opponent's absolute loss. Yeah.
Now the Pokemon illustration contest 2024, and report the artist, Rigo K. All 4 of them included as much details as you can, just so the Pokemon company will become aware of this, because it somehow slide under their nose 4 times. I don't even know how, but yeah. So I would appreciate it very much, and the artists out there who actually participate in the contest would appreciate it too. Thank you.
Well, it appears the organizers of the competition have been listening to the feedback from the art community, and they posted an update to clear up the speculations people were having about the situation. We are aware that select entrants from the top 300 finalists of the Pokemon Tag Illustration Contest 2024 have violated the official contest rules. As a result, entrants in violation of the rules have been disqualified from the contest. Whew, thank God. That was a rather close one, my brothers and sisters in art. A rather close one indeed. Furthermore, additional artists participating in the contest will soon be selected to be among the top 300 finalists. We're committed to upholding the integrity of Pokemon TCG Illustration Contest and appreciate the fans' continued support as we celebrate the artistic abilities of the talented Pokemon community. Well, that's definitely comforting news and seems like a step in the right direction for them. So far, the results haven't been updated yet, as the organizers probably have to sieve through all the submissions and disqualify the numerous entries that were possibly made using AI, since I'm guessing there's probably other submissions that were also made using AI aside from Vegan K, so I'm sure the judges have their hands full as we speak. I'm really glad they took the bold step to actually listen to the fans and try and fix the results, since there were so many artists with amazing art who submitted their work in the competition.
Yeah, so like, okay, so like remember from the first picture, right, of the of that one artist submitting this specific art or so, right, for this specific Pokemon, right, and they didn't get to the top 300 specifically, right? Like I said, I can see I can see at least two other ones that I would like, 2 or 3 other ones that I would be more interested to see it in a Pokemon card than that one specifically. I'm not hating on the artist itself, right? You know, like, like I said, the problem is like sometimes other artists are just a little bit more better than you, and that's pretty much it. So
but didn't get
just from looking at just this small selection here.
picked because of people like Vegan K and possibly others stealing their spots with a pile of crap. So that's a collective thumbs up to the organizers from us. Well, looks like you've made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, share the video with a friend, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I'll see all you pretty penguins in the next.
Yeah, like I said, like I know a lot of people don't like my opinion or so when it comes to AI and the way how I use it, right? They'd be like, "Oh, then why don't you just take your time on the art and then just do the thing that you got to do." Hey man, sometimes I just don't have time, I have to fucking do video editing myself. I have to sometimes I have to review the video that Kuma sends me. Sometimes I have to make thumbnails for it. I have to work on song covers. I have to work on, well, actually not just one song cover. There's a few song covers I have to work on. I still have to work on the concert or so that I have to do for you guys that I have not fucking done yet. The problem is I'm only one person, so it's kind of hard to keep track of that, at least specifically. So, and like I said, I don't draw like super like how I used to, or so when I had all the time in the world, and I just only draw too as well. And I'm also messing around with some music stuff to get some passive income on top of that. Like I get it, it's just, it is what it is. True. Also, like the angles are on there, attack mode drawn, something like that. So many different ways to win. Yeah, like I said, like I understand, like I probably, I am gonna post this video up, and I know a lot of people who are watching me, so are probably gonna be like, wow, this person uses AI art, blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, I use some of it. Yeah, okay, it helps me out. It helps me out with concept designs and stuff like that, with what I need specifically of what I need to do. I'm not gonna spend like hours and hours scouring through the internet to find a pose that I want, find a hair piece that I want, find clothing designs that I want or so. Did you guys know, like, this is how I used to do art, right? So how I used to do art before AI was even a thing, right? I bought physical magazines, fashion magazines or so, to look at, right? And then if I wanted specifically like a specific like outfit design from a certain area, I had to go on the internet and scour through the internet to find a certain piece of like design clothing or so, of what I'm looking specifically for my character design, right? Because I can picture it in my head, right? But the problem is I use references to find to what I need or so, especially like the folds of the clothes, to making sure that the folds are a-okay, the shadowing and stuff like that, right? I look through all of that stuff. It takes me a while to find what I need to find, and then from there specifically, I sit down and draw rough outlines. I draw roughly or so to get what I need. Because this was back on, what is it, pencil and paper. So this was before tablet stuff. This was during pencil and paper days. And then sometimes if I fuck up or so, I have to grab a new sheet of paper and fucking bring my pencil again and have to redo it all over again. That was my struggle or so when I had to do drawings or so with pencil and paper, because I've never done digital art. I know these new younger people are doing digital art to begin with. I didn't start with digital art. I started digital art way later. Way super later in life. So I was late to the party, like majorly late to the party. So, and for me, I just do pencil and paper. That's it. That's like my most best way how I do things, is pencil and paper. Like if I had a fucking camera right now for pencil and paper right now, I would put it right here right now and I will fucking draw pencil and paper and I will show you guys exactly how I draw on pencil and paper. I have more control drawing pencil and paper, and then also the limited colors as well, because I know how to mix colors specifically on just like normal pencil and paper, right? It just looks 10 times more better personally. And that's pretty much it. Because you want to know something, right? Back then on phones, because I drew a lot of my images, right, for fan art specifically, which I'll show you guys. I think I have a piece of fan art on here. I think I do. I think I have one on my desktop, I think. Okay, maybe I don't. Probably not. Fuck, man. I thought I had one at least on my desktop or so, but I guess not. Yeah, but like I said, you know, I've been working on it or so. I've like it's been a hot minute since I've done any of that stuff. But yeah. Yeah, I drew pencil and paper first. I've never gone into digital art. I made sure I made no fucking mistakes. Like I made sure I made no mistakes whatsoever. Like everything had to be perfect. That's why when I translated over to like to tablet or so, right? I'm just like, oh, here it is. I got one C. I didn't finish this one, unfortunately, right? I didn't get the chance to finish this one because I got busy in life, you know, because it's life. And drawing was just a hobby of mine, and it still is a hobby of mine, you know. Like it's still a hobby of mine. I don't take it serious. Do I make some money out of it? Yeah, of course, you know. I make some money out of it back then or so. It was pretty enjoyable when I made some money or so. I made a pretty good chunk, you know. Here, I even show my most recent one. I'll even show the most recent one. I didn't get the chance to finish it, of course, but I'll show the most recent one that I did or so when I moved into these new apartments. Let's see here. So let me show you. So this is what I drew. Pencil and paper with limited colors and everything like that. There it is, right there. So that's literally pencil. That's literally pencil and paper. Color pencil. I used colored pencil, and I used instead of using I never had white marker, right? I never had white marker specifically. I had whatchamacallit? I had a whiteout. That's what I used. You see this right here specifically? This part, this little white streak right here. This right here and this right here. I didn't use color pencil. I used whiteout. That's what I used. You know, you have to fucking, you know, come up with your own shit, you know, specifically to make it white, you know. So that's what I did. As you can see, I mixed it with a little bit of brown here and then black here. I used a pen here as well. You can see there's pink here, and I was mixing colors, you know. Yeah, I used whiteout. I didn't have white markers. Like I said, I was poor, dude. I was fucking poor. I had broken color pencils. I had like fucking shitty ass pencils and everything like that. This is literally what I use. Bro, when you're fucking poor as shit, you don't have the luxury to use what you want to use, okay? All right? Like I gotta say, some of you people who live like an actual normal life and was actually literally middle class, because I was not in the middle class. I was fucking poor class, okay? All right? So there's that, right? Specifically, right? This is like my oldest one. This was back in high school. This is my most recent one when I picked it back up again. So that's when I picked it back up again, and this is literally what I drew. So, and I have not drawn in over, I did like a rough sketch, and I have not drawn over fucking like, how long it's been? Been like almost like 20 years or so. Yeah, so yeah. And that's literally is what I created. Very, very easy, very simple. It's just I just have more control. I just have way more control when it comes to pencil and paper. And I had a good time. I had a good time drawing this too as well. And you want to know something too as well? This here, I drew it on a tiny fucking BlackBerry phone, okay? I drew this shit on a tiny ass BlackBerry phone, okay? All right? Well, actually not an actual BlackBerry phone, but like a shitty knockoff BlackBerry phone. So I drew this shit on a shitty knockoff BlackBerry phone. And that's basic, and I had to full render this in full bigger image of this. So like I said, I draw a pencil and paper first. The struggles were real with pencil and paper with me. So all you people who use digital art or so had that shit so fucking easy for you guys, like literally. That's why me personally, I have never liked digital art, and I always thought with digital artists are fucking lazy as fuck. So that's why. So but after a while, you know, I did get into digital art, and, you know, I respect the digital artist stuff, you know, like I said. That's why it's the same thing. That's why I've been seeing, like, the same thing with digital art against AI or so. Like, I'm seeing that hate of the digital artist towards AI art. So it was the same thing with pencil and paper artists hating on digital artists, you know, so. But everything coexists after a while. But yeah, like I said, that's just my opinion. You know, you guys can take whatever you guys want. You know, you guys can hate me. You guys can unsubscribe. You guys can thumbs down or whatever. You know, it's up to you guys. I don't really care, to be frankly honest. Like I said, I'm not here to please everyone on the internet. So they will never know the true consistency and pain of not making a mistake. Yep. Yep, especially because like I was also learning on top of that learning how to do tattoo drawing as well. So you had to be more perfect and more consistent or so for it. But AI art helps tattoo artists at the end of the day. So it is what it is, you know. It's just whatever, you know. Like you can have your normal artist coexisting with pencil and paper people, also painting people, right? Painters specifically, and then you also have your AI art there, you know. So, but what I don't agree on, right? For me personally, abstract art is not. I don't personally agree on abstract art, right? It just looks like a bunch of colors just splashed on a canvas, and then they sell it for like fucking hundreds and millions of dollars, and just makes no sense. So. Which makes no sense, but yeah. Anyways, that's a different topic for another day. But thank you guys for watching. You know, you guys can leave me down in the comment sections what you guys think. You know, if you want to unsubscribe, you want a thumbs down, you want to do all that shit, that's fine by me. You know, it's all up to you. And yeah, we're just gonna go take a look at the Pokemon competition. Anyways.